Hey, what's up guys? So in this video, I want to show you what I've done to automate my web development workflow. And it might seem slightly minor, the tasks that I'm automating, but this is just kind of a way for me to get exposure, start thinking about ways to automate it, and also just inspiration for you guys, just kind of show you what you can do and give you some ideas as well for how to automate your own projects, whether web development or something else. And so basically what I'm doing is I have a script for creating a React app, and then that's opening the code editor in that folder and also starting the local dev server. And then have a script for opening an existing project and then creating a GitHub repository using their API and then updating the repository. I have a few different scripts that I wrote in Bash, and they run in the terminal. For my Mac, if you're using Windows or Linux, it might be slightly different. It might seem minor, but I think you can probably relate to this if you're switching between projects all the time or creating new ones, that I think changing directories all the time to get to where you want, and then typing git add, git commit, git push every time, and initializing the repository and manually creating one in GitHub, and running the server and then opening up the code in Visual Studio Code or whatever code editor you use is it's just kind of repetitive. When you do it all the time, it adds up to be a kind of annoying process. This is just something to really, I think, in the grand scheme of things, to make things a little bit more streamlined and make me a bit more productive and feel like I'm typing that much less and navigating around through folders and whatnot. So anyway, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and let's jump into the code. The scripts that I installed are here just in my root directory. So I have new React project, open dev project, create GitHub repo, and update GitHub repo. So what I'll do is I'll just make a new project and kind of show you the workflow, and then when we get to the GitHub portion, I will show you how to get your own credentials if you want to use the API. Let's open up the new React project. So you can see that I'm initializing our bash script here. And then all of my code lives in the file structure. So root, and then desktop, and then dev. And then I go ahead and create React app with $1, and $1 is of course the variable. And then we cd into that folder, open it up with Visual Studio Code, and then start the server. So pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'm gonna do new React project. I'm gonna call this sample for YouTube. All right, so it's gonna take a little while since we are going to be installing React. All right, cool, and now it opened up the code editor, the project in the code editor here, so sample for YouTube. And then it automatically started up the server. So now we can make any edits here. So let's get rid of all of this, and let's just say hello YouTube. Cool, and there we go. And let's go ahead and now create the repository with our first commit. Here we're going to be changing directory into the folder that we just created. This is where it gets the trickiest here. We are creating the repository on this line, and then we are pushing our folder to the URL that it created. The way that you find this, and this is your username, and then this is your authentication token. And of course I'm going to change this before I publish the video, so you won't be able to use that. Here's the URL, and then the name of the repository, which is going to be the variable that we're passing in. And it needed to have single quotes next to it in order for the variable to be accepted. The way that we find this token is, so this is my GitHub, and we come over to settings, and we come over to developer settings, and we go to personal access tokens, and then you can do generate new token, and we'll just call it new example token. And then we want to give it rights to edit repositories. So I just I will just check that. But of course you can do anything else you want, but all I need it for is this. So then you do generate, and then you're going to want to copy this because this is only displayed to you one time. So you copy that, and then you paste it in here. Let's create a new repository here. Create GitHub repo, and then it's called sample for YouTube. And there we go. And this is the API call information. And then you can see here it's going through all of our normal Git commands, and it pushed our code. Let's refresh, and boom, there it is. Super cool. So of course you can chain all of this on to your initial Create React app if you want. I didn't because I don't always want to create a Git repository for a new project. Next, let's clear out the terminal. And now let's say, okay, we took some time away from this project, but we just want to dive back into it. And let's just run one command with the name of the project, and it'll just do all of that for us automatically. That is open dev project. So let's take a look at what's in here. So this is the simplest one, of course. CD into it, code, open, npm start. And it's sample for YouTube. Cool, and here it is. There's our code, and boom, we're good to go again. Let's go ahead and make some edits here. So I just updated the project, and now we are gonna run my last script. So that is update GitHub repo. And so this is, of course, CDing into it, and then git add, git commit, and then $2 is going to be the second variable, and then git push. So of course, simple again. The only tricky part is the second variable. We are going to do, so sample for YouTube is our project, and then this is going to be our commit message here. Wrap it in quotes. If you want to use hyphens to connect things, you don't need quotes, but obviously for human readability, we can use these little single quotes in order for it to pass the whole string. So we're going to say update text on landing page. All right, and let's run that and see what happens. All right, so it appeared to push, and let's come over here to GitHub. Refresh, and there we go, update text on landing page. So that's just a simple way that I'm going to be I'm automating my workflow, and this is meant to serve as inspiration for you guys for what you can do to make doing these sorts of tasks a little less repetitive and monotonous and speed up your development workflow. I think this is the tip of the iceberg. I'd like to really continue thinking about ways to automate things. So if you have any thoughts, ideas about how I can expand upon this or make this even simpler, please comment. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you want to set this up and you're having some issues with it, please let me know as well, and I'd love to help you guys. If you like this video, please leave a like, consider subscribing to my channel.